Hello, in this video we're going to be covering an unboxing of a Dado laser welder. So when it comes to you, we're going to be seeing a box just like this one here. And I bet we're really excited to get started, so let's open her up. So we open up the tape here, across the top, okay? Close up that blade. Okay, so there's a couple things that are going to be coming in this box. We'll have a quick install guide that we can reference throughout this video, and I'll have an overlay of it. On the back side, it's involved with maintenance as well as crosshair alignment, and we're going to be covering that in a separate video. The next thing that we're going to be covering is some of the accessories here. So we have this piece, which is going to be used to hold our phone, because we can use the app that accompanies the Dado in order to control the settings. We also have a fiberglass brush that when we twist it on this end, it exposes the fiberglass end, and you can clear off some of your welds that need to be cleaned. You also have two Allen keys that are going to be used for crosshair alignment as well as attaching the scope here. So this is, I believe, 2.5 and 3 millimeter wrenches. Let's actually use this last one to get the last little piece in here. So we have some tweezers that accompany this. And then finally, for your convenience to clean off your lenses, we have a lint-free cloth here. Once we get that out, just pull that straight out. Another thing that I forgot to mention is there's some silver laser wire here. And this is a special alloy of silver that allows you to weld more effectively with the Dado. So what I like to do is put it on its side and then march it out. And that way I can grab the machine and then put this off to the side as well. There you go. You can remove this plastic covering to expose our new Dado. There are a few things that are hidden within the packaging in the weld chamber. So in order to access those, we're going to apply pressure straight down, and then we're going to pull away from the body of, so we're going to pull away. Once we pull away a little bit, we can pull straight up. So now that we have the curtain off, we can access the weld chamber more freely, which has the rest of our accessories. So we're going to just slowly remove these. So right now, this is for the microscope. I found if I just grab the bottom half, I can remove the scope and put that on its side there. Then we also have our water. This is deionized type 2 water. And you can get that here at Sunstone. We're going to pull out this other piece that has our eye coverings. Put that off to the side. Okay. Okay, now that we have our Dado turned around so the cables attached to it are facing us, we'll notice that we'll have the 5 dot side. And on this top left dot, you'll see that there's a little niche in there. So we can use one of our Allen keys to push into that niche, and then we can use that. In fact, I'll use the small end. We can use that to give us some leverage. And I just used it that way to pop this dot free. And what's hidden behind this dot is the two hoses that are associated with water. So we're going to carefully pull out the ends of these. Don't want to pull too hard because they can come free from the opposite side, and we don't want to deal with that. So whenever I'm dealing with these two coverings, I will hold the hose and then wiggle it back and forth to free the caps. And we're going to want to free up both caps. So coming down to our water, as it comes, it has a little nib on here. I've already cut the top of it off, and then it exposes the hole here. So what we're going to do is use this in order to fill up our water. And you'll notice that it conveniently fits over the hose. So then we can squeeze and apply that water. And we're going to be putting all of the water that came with this machine. So now that we're done, then we can put on our caps. Again, I like holding the hose and then just marching that in there. I don't like putting the whole thing in there. It's unnecessary and it's hard to get this off after. This one I can bury completely, doesn't matter. I found that this is the hard one to pull out later. When you exchange your water in about, depending on your usage, the maintenance is about 9 to 12 months. You can push it out to 2 years, but that's not recommended. And if you need more help, please give us a call. We're happy to help. So now that we have that water put in, then we can slide in our dot and then push it in. So it clicks into place. That bad boy's in there now. Now we're going to flip this around. Okay. So looking at where the scope is going to be going, we have a little set screw that's poking out here. This is where our 2.5 millimeter wrench is going to come in handy. So what we're going to do is open that up completely so that the pointy end of this set screw is not going to be in the way. Now you'll notice that there are a few stickers and some glass in here. Those are going to stay there. That's our auto darkening lens to protect our eyes from the laser firing. Bringing our scope, we're going to pull it out of the plastic here. And then we're going to pull this lens taper off. And then what we'll want to do is set that flat in there, make sure it's aligned to here so that the operator is comfortable. And then we're going to use that same 2.5 millimeter Allen key and we're going to tighten that up. And that screw is going to push against the beveled edge of the inside scope and it's going to hold that scope in place. And just make it nice and snug with the quarter turn more, or depending on what you define snug is. But I like to have it just snug. We don't need to go crazy. Okay, now let's attach the curtain. So similarly to how we took it off, we're going to have these slits match up with all these outcrop or hooks on the outside. And we're going to apply a little bit of pressure until this sits flat. Now I like pushing the curtain inside the chamber because the curtain part will get in the way of where it hooks on below. We're going to apply pressure straight down and push into the machine. Then it will hook onto the bottoms. When we first plug in our welder, it's very common, and we're doing the setup video this way so that we know why certain things happen. So when we plug it in, that turns it on. And I suggest a power strip with a switch. That makes it a little bit more convenient.
6. Interlock.
So it's going to give us that. I'm going to pull this off for
Error number
ease of look.
6. Interlock.
So it's going to show this pink chamber. You'll notice.
Error number 6.
Let me flip this
Interlock.
off. So it's going to continuously say that until we address the issue. So on the inside chamber, it's frequently forgotten that we have two little connections. One of these is called the interlock, and one of them is called the key. We'll take both of these, and there's two connections on the top left of the weld chamber. Let's go inside the weld chamber to see that. We have it viewing, looking straight up, and we're going to go into this weld chamber. Now we can see that there's some things exposed here. So on the left side, we can see two connections. And then on the right side, let me get this in just a little bit more. We can see where the laser beam is going to be coming out. So we're going to reach in here and plug our interlock and our key. And once those are both plugged in, we're not going to need to touch those again. So that will be nice and convenient. Okay, so now that we have both of those plugged in, then we're not going to have that error that says interlock. So when we boot it up, and hear that beep sound, and we may hear I believe it's error number 5. If this happens, then this will show up once we wake up the machine, because that's going to start the water pump. If this happens, then we could just power cycle the machine and wake it up so that we can clear the air bubbles that are inside the machine. And that's the error that's going to show up when you boot up your machine or fill it up with water and boot it up for the first time. So let's hear that. Aren't we lucky? So it sounds like we're not going to get that error, but if it does happen, we can power cycle the machine several times until that error doesn't happen and it boots up just as we've seen here. With that, I highly recommend just power cycling it. Check the full range of this. You'll notice that the light changes color. When you use the accompanying app, these color numbers are associated with a number 1 through 12. And you can hear the clicks, and that can help you determine what number you are in if you don't use the app. So power level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I want to go in the weld chamber just one more time. So as we come up, I want to look at that slider that's just above our laser. That slider right there is in charge of our spot size. So sliding it back and forth will make it max or min. Thank you for watching the Dado setup tutorial. Please look at our YouTube channel for other Dado related videos and laser welding tips. If you have further questions, please give us a call. The number is down in the description. We also accept text messages from that same number. Have a great day.